Hello, hello. Happy holidays to everyone out there. We want to say appreciate y'all from the off the jump. Appreciate y'all for joining us on this holiday week, holiday season. Whatever you celebrate, uh, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, Christmas, enjoy it. Have a good time with your family. But we know what you're here for. Dab Sports, D, Adam, Brandon, you know why you're here. So we're gonna go ahead and get to it. Um, we gotta talk about Victory Victory Monday over here. We don't get many of those. We beat the Cardinals, which I correctly predicted. Um, so we're gonna start out with Brandon. What's your thoughts on it?
I think we played a good game. We played a good game. I thought the Cardinals were a little better than what I thought previously than what they looked like on Sunday. Um, I felt like we finally got the ball running in the second half. I feel like Bryce played well. Defense was a defense. They held in the second half. They didn't give up much rushing yards, so that was good. Kyler didn't do anything spectacular. We really didn't let him get his legs going. Offensive line, defensive line did good. Mike Jack played well as well, especially on that final third down. That overtime series, he had two batted passes. That overtime series, he played well. Wyndham, 41. I don't know who he even is, but he played linebacker. He played very well too, as well. So, it was a good team win, especially sending us off at the bank. Final game at home. So, yeah.
Well, I mean, following up on what Carter said, I mean, the Cardinals were worse than I thought in terms of their penalties and stuff like that. But like Spate, I predicted a win as well. I just the games that I had seen, I just didn't think they were. I felt like out of the bad teams, people were trying to put them in that tier of like the Broncos, where they're like the better of the bad teams. But I didn't see the Cardinals like that. And then given Kyler's history of breaking down towards the end of the season. He didn't really do nothing too crazy. He had a couple big time runs on us, which our defense is bound to allow. But I definitely thought the defense played stout. Another great game off of Bryce. I don't know whether this was his best game or whether the Chiefs one was his best game. I thought that was really good. Shout out to Christensen for stepping in on the offensive line again. So yeah, I mean, I like what I saw of the offense. He's a stepping stones towards next season, fellas. So I was pleasantly surprised with the result for sure.
Um, yeah, I kind of thought this how that game was gonna play out. There was nobody was expecting us to win it. Bryce, of course, played well in those situations. You saw the joyful Bryce, the kind of carefree, um, no expectation, no pressure Bryce, and you got a good Bryce. Would like to see him, when there's any type of expectations or pressures or anybody really picking him to win. But with that being said, um, the DC, he still didn't look great to me. Like he did some questionable calls again. Um, I think this might need to be his last year. But with that being said, the offense did well. Chuba did well. Like our interior linemen, you know, are still playing well. So with that being said, like I think everybody did good except, for the DC. And I kind of wish we would have lost still just to, hold on to the draft pick. That's the only knock I kind of got for that, especially when you look at teams like the Raiders had won a game. Like if we could have, you know, took it to overtime and lost, that'd be nice from draft capital aspect of it.
Yeah, I mean, Carter, how you feel the same way about the DC? You ready for him to be up out of there?
Yeah, I never been really a big fan of the 3-4 anyway. Um, I always would kind of feel like Panther football is 4-3 team, but I do like the fact that he do multiple sets as far as. But I mean, at the same time, we just don't got a lot of bodies, man. Like it kind of been saying that
That's
all
my
year.
thing.
Like we don't have no
Yeah,
depth. He just started last year, where he did what last year was his first year as DC. So this is only
yeah,
2 years in his system. So we really haven't got to really see the full capability because the first year the overchange from a 4-3 to a 3-4 defense is huge from a personnel standpoint. So you really didn't
hundred
have
percent.
a lot of right personnel in that first year. And then this year we have no depth, and it doesn't hurt that everybody continues to get hurt. I'm still not a huge fan of him, but I think maybe the third year probably is cool. I mean, I don't know what his contract is, but I wouldn't say get. I wouldn't be mad if we got rid of him, but at the same time, like he had a lot of things working against him for the last 2 years, so I wouldn't mind kind of seeing him again. Just with the right personnel and a good draft and some depth at all the positions that he really needs.
I mean, I agree with that because I mean, I'm. It's like he has certain games, like the game before last. I mean, where it's like, what are we doing? But when we've had other pods where we've all admitted that we've got dudes on our roster who will probably be practice squad players on other teams. So I think he's doing the best of what he can. I mean, he's getting the best out of Ashawn Robinson. You know what I'm saying? This is Ashawn Robinson's best season by far. He's got career highs or in all the major statistics, and he didn't even has. And Ashawn, I feel like has missed a couple games, and he's high in tackles, quarterback hits, all that good stuff. So I mean, I definitely believe that his scheme can work. You know what I mean? But it's hard to truly grade him when we're missing such major pieces. You know what I mean? We're missing our hog up front, and we're missing Shaq. So it's really hard to And he's had guys. I mean, I don't know if you can attribute this to him, but he is the coordinator. He's got to put dudes in position. We've had linebackers having to step in, and even more linebackers this week when Trevin went down. So I mean, I feel like he's done a decent job with the hand that he's been dealt for sure.
Um, I Yeah, I agree with that. Like we are missing guys, so you can't be but so harsh. But there is, you do see coordinators like Brian Flores who is doing more with less. Like I don't think the Vikings, from a personnel standpoint, defense is, leaps and bounds better than ours. And they're put better production. And I think it really does just go back to that last game versus the Cowboys where we saw one-on-one Lamb more than once on Woods. It's like little stuff like that. Like the greatest defensive coordinator of our lifetime, Bill Belichick, like we all knew the motto of the Patriots, take away what you do best. And it seemed like we had no intent of taking away Lamb last week. It was just like, hey, I heard this Lamb guy's pretty good. Let him do what he want. Like
But what other
that.
examples you got? You can't get fired off of one just like one game. And then I mean, I also disagree with the fact that the Vikings personnel is leaps and bounds better than ours, bro.
Yeah, I think they're better
Like
than ours as
leaps and
well.
bounds. Like it's
Yeah,
not
I
even
mean,
close.
they're gonna have some Pro
Bro,
Bowls
they
on their
have they
defense for
have
sure,
Gilmore
for
is
sure.
definitely a Hall of Fame player. Maybe he might not be
That's
playing
what
at
I'm
that
saying.
level, but he's still a good,
But it comes
decent
down to
player.
the D line, bro. They get home with four.
Harrison
They get
Smith.
home,
They got Harrison Phillips is better than Brown. Well, he's probably. Well, I don't know if he's better than Brown, but Brown's not out there. So you know what I'm saying.
bro.
He's better than Ashawn Robinson.
Point blank period. They get home with four. Like we don't get home
Yeah.
with our front seven. So it's like what I'm saying. We had 3 sacks this week, so that was good. That's like a great week for us. Kept getting 3 sacks. So you know what I mean. I don't necessarily agree with that spate. You know what I'm saying, but I get what you're saying. I don't think anybody is looking at Evero like he's some defensive genius where he can't be replaced. It's just
Yeah.
you have to tell me the options, you know what I mean, what they are, and then we go from there. But I'm not against him, moving on because I'm with Carter. I feel like Carolina, we're a 4-3 team, you know what I mean? But he's been here for a couple seasons, so I'm sure he's had some say in the type of players we brought in and the type of players who have left, like a Jeremy Chin. So at this point, if he's put 2 years into trying to craft the team to, get to how he wants, we had some bad luck with some of these games where we got lost Shaq and, Brown, games 1 and 2 of the season or game 1 of the season. So, I do want to see if he can kind of turn a new leaf, and then it's all about playing complementary football. I could argue that the first half of the season, the offense wasn't doing our defense any, favors. So, we were putting our team in horrible positions, especially, Bryce's first couple games. So, I'm willing to give him another shot.
Yeah, I still kind of stand by what I said with the Vikings defense. Like that was the same defense. A lot of those pieces was there last year, and that was one of the worst defense in the league. Like that, Brian Flores had a lot to do with that. But and I would say Horn is better than anybody they have on defense. So I, that's just my opinion.
Scheme
But
is scheme is big, Spade. I mean, would you not
oh, that's
admit,
what I'm.
Mike?
But that's
But
not
I'm
what I'm
saying,
saying.
no, I get what
Yeah.
you're saying, but I'm just saying, like, in terms of the player personnel, might make. I'm only arguing because I'm not nobody. Me and Carter ain't arguing that Flores is not a better coordinator than Evero. We would, be crazy. But at the same time, when you talk about the personnel, look at what the Ravens are doing. Ravens are like one of the worst defenses in the league this year. last year they were number 2. They lost Mike McDonald. You know what I'm saying? The personnel ain't changed. They still got Roquan. They still got Hogs up front. It's just that the scheme is different, and so the players aren't playing to their best. So I mean, when you're looking at your DC, you're looking like, obviously, does it complement the offense? And then two, are you able to bring in the players who can match your scheme to kind of really make it work? So, I get you. I'm like I said, I totally agree with Carter. If he were to get fired and we were to upgrade or find a new coach, I wouldn't be totally mad at it. But if they bring him back, I'm not going to be pissed at that either. So
Yeah. I agree. I guess maybe we're all saying the same thing, just a different way. Like I agree with the whole, like what you're talking about, the Ravens or whatnot. Like, so I agree with all that. It's just, like I said, nobody, I guess outside of y'all who's going to say like the Ravens, I mean, not Ravens, but Vikings personnel was just leaps and bounds better than ours. Now, granted, we playing in practice players, so on some of those games, of course, it definitely gonna look that way. But
It's leaps and bounds better, bro. Like, have you looked at their
nah,
roster? You want me to read their
it's
roster
not.
out to you right now, bro? Jared
You,
Tiller is going to be better than anybody else we got outside of like who's he not better than besides maybe Clowney,
maybe Brown.
maybe Wanham, and they
Yeah.
had Wanham, bro. You know what I'm
Oh, you talking
saying?
about just edge rushers? Yeah, he's
Just, I mean,
better
I'm
than
just
all of
going through
our
the
edge
whole thing
rushers.
in general. Harrison Phillips is going to be ranked high every year, D tackle, always in the zero tech,
I
always.
think he
You know what
made
I'm
the Pro
saying?
Bowl last year.
Yeah, bro. Like
okay.
Ruler Hill, you know what I'm saying? Like Van Inkel just got paid, bro. Gilmore, Harrison Smith, like Shaq Griffin, Byron Murphy Jr. You know what I'm saying? Another high pick. Like, bro, it leaps and bounds better than us, bro. Who we got? Mike Jack out there, bro. You don't know who 41 was. Had a hell of a game on Sunday. You don't know who he is. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, and then Damani Richardson out
come on,
there. I
bro.
mean, I don't know, man. I don't know, Spade. I mean, when we got all our pieces and you're able to throw in a Brown, a Shaq, and all these dudes, Trevin, maybe
Yeah,
we
but
can
I'm
be
just
a
talking
little
about like
closer.
presently
Yeah, but like
constructed
right
right now.
now, yeah, I don't think he has that at his disposal. But that's neither here nor there. We'll just agree to disagree on that.
Now the
Yeah,
Vikings,
yeah.
the
Cause
Vikings.
cause I stand by what I said. Like nothing y'all said changed anything. But
No, it was really you said that the majority of people are going to say that, and I don't believe that. You saying the
be,
majority of
be,
people are going to say that the Vikings roster or the Panthers roster is better than the Vikings roster on
no, I'm
defense.
not. Oh
No.
no. Oh. If that's what you heard, no, that's what I'm saying.
No, he
I'm
said
saying it's
it's not leaps and bounds. That's what I get what you're
so.
Oh,
What
okay,
saying.
I'm
okay,
It's
okay,
closer.
okay,
so what
okay,
I'm
okay.
saying is all
I
those
got
people
you.
you
I got
name, like I don't view them from a personnel pre this year. Like you somewhat got to take some of the production out if you compare it to their production last year before Flores. Like nobody would say that is a top 10 defensive personnel. Coming into this year, their defense was projected to be bottom half. Guess who else is a bottom half projected defense? Ours. So that's why I
Yeah,
don't
but
say leaps and down. I'm not comparing it to like the Chiefs who clearly have a way better personnel than we have. Like that's why I'm saying I look at the Chiefs as leaps and bounds. I don't see the Vikings as leaps and bounds.
Vikings have had a good defense though, bro. They fell off for like what 2 years
you.
because I
2 years,
think
if
that's when
that.
they lost
Kendricks
Leslie
got hurt,
Frazier.
got old.
Yeah, and then like they lost their coordinator because when you're a good defense, your coordinators are gonna get plucked. I mean, I think that they've had a good defense. They were bad. They had a couple down years, but they didn't have an overhaul of their defense. Like this is for the most part their core. But like I said, we're getting off track now. We're debating the Vikings defense. Let's go
Hey
somewhere
man.
else with this.
Vikings fine.
So we can continue. Uh, So over the past couple of weeks, we've picked past pretty much since the start of the pod, we pick a MVP, most valuable Panther, or give out a game ball, and a lot of times it ends up being the same couple of people for each of us. So with that being said, as the year wind down, is there any potential Pro Bowlers that you guys see on the team? For me, it's only like two or three people, honestly. Chuba for sure. Um, Hunt and Lewis at the guard position. Lewis, I believe, is the 17th ranked guard right now. So probably Lewis and maybe Horn. Statistically, he does it, but I don't know if he would have the media push to actually get voted in the Pro Bowl. And that's where my list ends.
Hmm.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean,
that'd be interesting.
I don't know, man. Yeah, as far as the Pro Bowl, I feel like I definitely feel like Ashawn could be in the running for that. He's been like I know he's came on kind of late, but once again, career highs in sacks, tackles for loss, QB hits. I definitely feel like he could be in the running for that. Our O lineman, for sure. I would definitely put say Robert Hunt could get a vote. Um, to be honest, Taylor Moton, I know he's quiet because he's on that right side, but he honestly could probably get a Pro Bowl vote. He's allowed 0 sacks this year, coming from that side. So I feel like he could get in there. I'm always gonna be shouting for JC. So JC for sure. Um, I think that's pretty much the only people I could like justify putting in there this year. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I would go Chuba, of course. Um, JC potentially. Rob Hunt for me, but at the same time, last couple of weeks he's had a lot of holding calls. So maybe Damian Lewis, but either one of them two are pick him to me. I know Rob Hunt does a lot of media, so they're putting a push on him. He does a lot of Panther media as of lately. So I definitely Rob Hunt, and yeah, that's about it. Nobody else on the front seven, nobody on the back end. So yeah, it'd be defensive wise, it's just JC if that.
For sure.
Yeah. So Damian Lewis at the guard position is ranked 14th overall, and Robert Hunt is 20th overall for the season. So there is a chance both of them could potentially make it. Um, and I think Chuba, would y'all agree Chuba is probably the closest thing to a lock that we got for is the Pro Bowl?
Oh
No,
yeah,
Is
he's the
he?
for
only
sure.
one that we have as a Pro Bowler for real. If I'm really being
Yeah,
honest, and I'm not
I
picking
forgot.
just
I
Panthers, he's
can't.
just the
I don't know
only
why I
one even in the
didn't.
conversation though.
Yeah, I don't know why I didn't even say him. It definitely Chuba. Chuba's in there.
Yeah. Yeah. So with him
For
being sixth in rushing and assuming either Saquon or Henry or one of them makes Saquon, Josh Jacobs, assuming one of those NFC quarterbacks, I mean running backs for sure, make the Super Bowl. Yeah, he should be a Pro Bowler for sure. But yeah, outside of the guards, I don't really see yeah on offense anybody.
Yeah, I mean, because it's so hard. I mean, like you said, unless we're looking at the grades of the other players, because we don't watch other teams' O linemen. Our O line is graded out pretty high over as especially like the last, I would say, 8 to 10 games. But I don't know if everybody dudes who we praise, they might not be graded as high as other guards and tackles. So
Yeah,
Yeah, and we're not winning. Like they could be putting up the same exact numbers if we're 9-6. Like it's gonna just be boosted. So when you're putting up doing a good job and you're not winning many games, you know, it, that knocks it a little bit too, because it's almost like how impactful is it what you're doing if it's not, leading to wins in any way.
that's real.
But yeah, but it's time to go to, the number one, the most popular segment in all of the land, Adam's Trivia. What you got for us today?
Yeah, man. So I really wanted to go defense. I was gonna do the top five interceptions, but top five interception getters. But when I was looking at the list, I said, man, y'all ain't gonna get half of these dudes. So like, I mean, I'm just gonna be honest with you. I mean, we'll do that on a later date. But just to give you an example of kind of how piss poor I guess our DBs have been, that's always been a problem for us. Even a dude like Josh Norman wasn't a heavy interception getter. Luke
yeah.
Kuechly is
Mhm.
top five interceptions for us, bro.
I never
You
would have
know,
got that. He did get. He did. I never would have got that.
Luke Kuechly is number like he has like 18 interceptions. It's crazy. So anyway, we're gonna do top five sack getters. I feel like y'all could definitely do that. At least guess enough guys, to kind of get in that mix. So we're gonna do the top five interception getters. Everybody knows who's number one. So let's start there.
You said the top five sack getters, right?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
All right, all right. Peppers.
Yes, sir. Number one. 97 sacks.
Yeah. This is
Charge,
ju- this is
char,
this is career or is this just with the Panthers?
Career sacks. Career sacks. Yeah.
Oh, but they play for the Panthers.
Yeah. Play for the Panthers.
Oh, Jared
Yeah.
Allen then.
Jared Allen is on the list. He is number 2. Correct.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
Oh, so they're
I
including
didn't.
sacks. That,
I didn't include Jared Allen because he didn't play a full season, but I did leave him as an honorable mention. So let's do it like this. Let's say, let's just do guys who played at least 2 seasons or more. That way, it can kind of stay with Panthers. Because a dude like Jared Allen, he was only there for like 10 games. So
Yeah.
okay. Charles Johnson.
yeah, Charles Johnson will be number 2. The gap is crazy, fellas. At 67, he's got 30 less than Pep.
Mm.
Get it. Um,
Number 3,
Let's
another
see.
all-time Panther.
All time. Mike Rucker.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
55.
Yeah. Mike Rucker. Uh,
um,
Greg Hardy.
great.
No, Greg Hardy is an honorable mention. He would have been, if he had about 3 more sacks, he would have been number 5.
Yo, that's
Uh,
crazy because he got him quick. He got him
He did.
quick.
yeah.
He tied him up quick.
He got him quick. He was a menace off that edge. He had his head right.
Pep 1, Charles Johnson 2, Mike Rucker 3. Who's 4 and 5?
Uh, uh, T Thomas Davis over time might got a few.
Thomas Davis did not get him.
Okay.
Mm,
Okay.
He did not get
Okay.
in there.
Short didn't get enough. Um,
let's see. Let me think.
This
Short
is a
didn't get
guy.
enough.
This guy. He was one of the guys that went over to. I guess Sean McDermott kind of stole him from us.
Sean McDermott stole from.
Star?
No, it's not Star.
Oh, not Connie Ely.
No, it's an Edge.
What's his?
Y'all might not get this one,
Mario
bro, to be
Addison.
honest. Yeah, I was about to say, y'all might
Yeah.
not get this. The
Yeah.
last time I said y'all ain't gonna get this one, Carter said it right away again. So, I gotta stop saying that. I said, y'all ain't gonna get this one. He was like, Bryce. Like, I was like, all right. Well, I guess you got it. So yeah, we got Pep at number 1 with 97, Charles Johnson, number 2, 67, Rucker 3, 55. Mario got 55 as well. He's tied for 3.
Okay.
I forgot about Mario. Dang, that was a
Yeah.
good one. And so we still
Got
need
one.
fifth place.
Yeah, we gotta need one more.
Mm. Fifth. Let's see.
Is it a D lineman or a linebacker?
It's an Edge.
Okay.
Mm.
Okay. Um,
New school.
New school. Oh, Brian
Burns?
Burns then?
Yeah, Burns got in there at 46, man.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
Number
didn't think he
5.
had enough. He had decent production. I didn't think he had enough though. But
It's so
yeah.
crazy though, like with our stats, because especially like when you look at as we're doing these trivia questions and we're trying to put everybody else onto like the Panther history, it's like people are gonna see that you don't really have to be here that long to get into the record books. Like, you know
You
what I
don't.
mean? We got dudes who are getting into the record books playing 4 and 5 years with us, bro. Being top 5 and like in solid stats. These ain't just like some random stats. That's sack leaders, bro. That's crazy to me. When I was thinking about dudes like we've had guys like Chris Jenkins and stuff like that, but we were a little younger, and I don't really remember how many years they were on the team. But it was feast or famine on that D lineman. That was NASCAR. You're trying
Yeah.
to fight for sacks with Pep, Kimoyatu, Chris Jenkins, and Mike Rucker, bro. They was starving for sacks, bro. So it's just crazy to think about.
That's what made the run crazy.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. But speaking of history, we had one MVP back in our day, Mr. Cam Newton, the MVP of the whole league. And just, as the season starting to wind down and we know the Panthers aren't going to make the playoffs, have been officially eliminated a little while ago. Looking at the whole league, who do you guys see as the potential MVP for the season?
I mean, it's a 2-man race to me. It's really a 1-man race to me. I think it's Josh Allen, but Lamar might be able to run him down. I mean, Saquon, he's still a running back. It's a quarterback award, but if we won't give it into a running back, it's him. I mean, if he break Eric Dixon's record, that's a little different, but he still didn't break it in as many games because we got 18-game season now. So I'm not saying it ain't impressive, but it's a little different. So it's probably Josh Allen to me.
Yeah, I mean, if the Eagles weren't like so stacked already, then I could see Saquon. But I feel like they were bound to have a good season regardless. I mean, there's a number of running backs. They wouldn't have had a Saquon season, but there's a number of running backs you could have slotted in there that would have done numbers. I mean, Josh Jacobs ain't the same player, but you throw him on the Eagles team, he's gonna eat too. So I feel like there's different dudes like that. He probably can get the offensive player of the year, but my MVP is definitely right now is gonna be Josh. I mean, it's so reminiscent of 2015 Cam, bro. Like where you don't have a lot of he has no true number ones, but he's making it work. He's able to move the ball consistently. I mean, you have in order to beat them, you got to put up 30. You know what I mean? And Lamar is doing a really good job this year, but you know, unfortunately, you know, you add the talent that they have. I mean, Baltimore's got a lot of firepower, bro. Their offensive, the whole offensive staff is crazy. I mean, they got two solid tight ends. They got 3 to 4 wide receivers that anybody would want, and then you got top 3 running back in the league. So, and he's putting up numbers. So I just, there's no way I could give it to Lamar this year, and I'm a Lamar guy. So
Yeah, for me, it was a two-man race, but I think it kind of died. I think Josh, like y'all said, is number one for sure. I think Saquon could have made it real interesting if he could have, if the Eagles could have beat the Commanders when Hurts went out, and let's say, granted he had a big game, but let's say he had a even bigger game and able to put it away, like I think he
yeah,
would have made it a lot more interesting. Um, for me, for me personally, I granted I know this isn't the case in real life, but for me personally, I there's no way Lamar's in the conversation for me. Um, I just don't. When they lost the playoff game last year, the number one reason why everybody kept saying they lost was, hey, the coordinator didn't run the ball enough. The coordinator didn't take the ball out of Lamar's hands enough. And when your reason for losing is your quarterback played quarterback too much, I don't know how he can be a MVP in my eyes. But that's just my little
yeah.
weird quirk.
I
But
don't.
with that, be,
I don't
okay.
agree with that only because it's like that's the style of team that I mean of game that that team plays. So it's just like when people make that argument against him, they're like, "Why are you guys going against what you do all?" See, I feel like their run sets up the pass in games where Lamar might throw for 3 or 4. I feel like it's because you're so scared of what they're going to do on the ground that you're willing to maybe you have to pick your poison. You know what I'm saying? You got to pick your poison with him and. I just, when people be like, yo, you should have ran the ball more and stuff like that. I mean, to me, sometimes it's valid, bro. You know what I mean? It's like, I get what you're saying. It's like you're asking, I get exactly what you mean. You're like, why, if he's the MVP, why are you asking him to take the ball out of his hands? But it's more goes into that's the style of game that that team plays. And it's like, why go against what works for your team? Even if you do have a superhero over there, play with what works best for your team. This is an 11-man sport. It's not basketball. You know what I'm saying? It's not like it's LeBron. All of a sudden he starts shooting threes and during the game, it's like, yo, play your style of football. So
Yeah, I agree with that. My only, I guess, retort to that be is when Josh Allen lost, it was Josh Allen didn't play well enough. It wasn't necessarily Josh Allen had the ball too much. Like I feel like when people say that, what it would be the same as me saying Eddie is still the GOAT. The Panthers are just having him kick too much. Like
yeah,
what? That's his job.
but does Josh's style ever change? Like for example, in that game against the in the Super Bowl, we talked about this. This is obviously a biased conversation, but we all talked about this like during the game while we were watching it. After the game, if Cam had it turned into a running back during that game, we probably would have won. But no, he wanted to sit back there in the pocket. Is that us saying, "Yo, he's the MVP. Why are you trying to make it?" No, we know his strengths, bro. Like he's the MVP because he's still a great player, but his strength is to manhandle you on the ground. I mean, does that make sense? I feel like that's the exact same situation. In a Josh Allen situation, it's almost like when you say he's not playing well, he might be sailing the ball too high, making questionable decisions, but his play style doesn't change. You know what I mean? That's my point.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, people still are gonna vote him. He's still gonna finish top three, top two in MVP. That's just my, you know, little
For
quirk on
sure,
him.
no
Um,
question.
but with that being said, the Panthers, we do have a game coming up. Um, we play Sunday. Yeah, Sunday. Uh, how do you guys have it going?
Yeah, we play the Bucks. I got us
Yep.
losing. I say
Of course you do.
30-21. The Bucks. I mean, they got the fourth highest. They have the fourth highest scoring offense in the league, as well as, but their defense is giving up like 356, 360 yards a game, 360 yards or something a game. So you can score against them, as we seen on the Cowboys do. They kind of lit them up on Sunday night, but I mean the Cowboys lit us up too. So, but the thing with the Bucks is the Bucks still got something to play for. I know we've been out here, we've been ruining seasons for different teams, but the Bucks still in the hunt. They got to win out, and they need Atlanta to lose. We play actually both of them down the stretch, so we really can, determine who gets into the NFC South, depending on if we go out here and do our jobs and different things like that. But with that being said, like I said, I think I got the Bucks winning just because I think they got. I mean, they got a lot of high hopes right now, and I mean, the way that they just lost on prime time, I think they're gonna kind of take that personal. So I think they're gonna get us, unfortunately.
I don't know, man. It's hard for me not to go with the Panthers this week. It's just hard, man. I'm drinking the Kool-Aid, fellas. I mean, I'm fully on board right now with how Bryce is looking and stuff like that. And I feel like if we get X back, for this upcoming week, which Dave just said, he was like he's progressing, he's hitting all the milestones throughout the week where it's looking like he's gonna progress to play. I mean, last time we almost beat these dudes. I know we're in Tampa this time, so I mean, I guess they'll have the home field advantage, of course. But I like the way our defense is playing. So I think we're gonna score 27 on them, and I think we're going to stymie them, 27-21 Panthers.
Mm.
Wow. Okay. And that's if X plays or if
I'm gonna
X
go
is
period, fellas. I'm gonna go period.
okay.
My boy
Okay.
Bama Bryce is back. All right,
Yeah,
I
bet.
got I got some numbers I want to tell you. Go ahead and give me a prediction, Spate. I got some numbers
So
for you.
I'm going to say Bucks win 28 uh 20 28-21. I got him keeping it relatively somewhat close. I got Mike Evans having a big game. Um yeah, Bryce is going to play decent, there's no pressure. We know how he do it when there's no pressure, no expectation. He's going to play well. Yeah, the point spread is negative -8. I I think we cover, but I don't, like I said, I don't see it being actually really close at any point. Um, but yeah, that's kind of where I see it at.
You and his dad going. That's exactly why I said I need to bring up Bryce numbers, bro. Because
You can go
Carter,
ahead.
him and his damn narrative with the no expectations and stuff like that. He had expectations at Bama. That didn't. I got. Why you think that all of a sudden because he's in the NFL that expectation? He plays for the Panthers, bro. We're like even if he
He was
has a
the
good
number one
game,
pick.
we're
He
not
was
we're
number one
not
player.
getting. Yeah, but we're not getting any pub. If we win or lose this game, it's not going to change people's view on Bryce, except for people in Carolina. I don't think he has. It's like the expectation thing is as big of a deal as what you're making it seem. I think like we're playing teams. He's still learning. So last week it was convenient that we were a point and a half a favorite. Were we at home?
Yeah, last week, yeah, we
You're
played the
a
Cowboys
point
at
and a
home.
half favorite on the road or at home means you're basically not the favorite. So like I mean, you're supposed to get a daggone 3 points at home, or we're not, and the Cowboys are not good. So that whole narrative should just needs to slide. I think when I was looking at the PFF charts. Any game that because the past like 3 or 4 games, Dave has started to call a more consistent game where he's like not just making him do a whole bunch of screenplays and stuff like that. He's throwing the ball downfield. I mean, bro, anytime that he's Bryce is like dotting the sidelines where he's throwing outside the numbers, it's going to be a good game for us. And not last game, but this game and the game before last, he was doing just that. And over the past couple weeks, he's been leading the league in completion percentage for passes coming out of his hands in 2.5 seconds or less, which means what? He's doing great against the rush. So I just think that like you got to take it easy on Bryce Spade. Both times that you've commented on Bryce, you made to throw in that caveat. Of course, there's no expectations. Like, bro, are you a Panthers fan? I'm trying to remember, bro. Are you a
Yes,
Panthers fan?
yeah, I'm
Okay.
starting to think I'm the only Panthers fan up here because I thought we wanted our team to win. I didn't know we was carrying water for somebody. Like he has not been good when he was the number one pick and was trying to have it and had expectations to play like a number one pick. Last year he played poorly. This year we got a new coach. Oh, it's a new system. Let's see how you do. He got benched. The first time he was a favorite, he turned the ball over a few times. So to sit here and say like what I'm saying, I'm pulling it out for thin air or just making it up, it's not true.
So
This
if
is what he does in moments where
Spade,
there's any expectations. There was no
Spade,
expectations last week. He played well.
Spade,
These are facts that happen.
how many times has he had expectations, I would say, at the beginning of last season and then when? The beginning of this season and then maybe the game where he was favored? I mean,
Yep.
what games are you talking about? So three times he's had expectations. So less than two seasons in because he hasn't met the expectations of those three moments that he doesn't meet expectations. He's a brand new player. He's one of the smallest quarterbacks in the league and he's getting better. The only person who can't see that is you. And
And that's fine.
everybody on TV is talking about how he's been getting better over games. The fact that you are the only one who's not seeing that should be a wake up call to you, bro. That you're not
No,
seeing it clearly. And when you're
no.
talking about the expectations, that means Peyton Manning didn't failed under expectations. Caleb Williams has been failing under expectations. The Prince has been failing under expectations. C.J. Stroud is not good under expectations because we expected him to be good this year. I mean, you could just go down a litany of guys who according to you, as soon as they get shown expectations, they're not able to meet the challenge. I mean, bro, when he daggone got his job back, expectations are not. We expected him to go in there and at least show some growth, or else your job is on the line. That's the argument me and Carter was trying to make last week, that he's not really playing carefree. His job is on the line. I mean, me and you
His job is
just
not on the line.
bro,
What are y'all
Spade,
talking about?
me and you just agreed last week that, or two pods ago, that his not like Carter was willing to say that his he could get the rookie extension basically now. You know, not rookie extension, but he's guaranteed to get at least the 4 and the 5th year. And me and you were like, yo, he's definitely not guaranteed to get the 5th year. He's maybe bought himself next year just off of the past 3-4 games that he's played. So you have agreed with me that his job is not guaranteed. So to say he's been playing with no expectations, that contradicts that.
No, it don't. And I can show you how.
100% does.
Um, no, I'm gonna tell you why I don't. So if his whole when you say job, let's be clear. Do you mean job in the NFL or job with the Panthers?
Both.
Because all right. So one, if you want to say the Panthers, okay. In the NFL, no way. And this is the reason why. Right now, the Jets and the Panthers get brought up in the same exact joke because we had Sam Darnold, Geno, Baker Mayfield, and all three of those quarterbacks are playing well without us. So you know what he
They
gets
have
the
Gino.
benefit. He
We did
gets
have
the
Gino.
huh?
We did have Gino.
No, I said the Jets and the Panthers. I understand we didn't have Geno, but I'm saying both teams get the same treatment from that. And my whole point I'm getting to is we them two team that team and our team both gets the knock for that. So he will benefit from that. Coming out of here, there we go. Well, you see what happened to Sam, Baker, and Gino when they left those organizations. So he has no pressure of losing the NFL. The Panthers, some people would say a blessing if you look at those situations. So
That's
no,
foolish.
I
That's
don't see
foolish.
it.
That's just foolish to say, because when you
Okay.
lose, the team who drafts you, that's the team who truly believes in you. As soon as you walk out their doors, or they give up on you, you are on thin ice. I'm not saying that he wouldn't have one more team to give him a chance. But do you think how long do you think Trey Lance's leash is? That man has played like 4 games. San Fran already gave up on him. He hasn't
But
even played
that's, bro,
for Dallas, and when he
you
go
cannot
ahead.
compare giving up San Fran and what they have done with quarterbacks, giving up as
That's
the
fine.
Panthers.
That was just one
Like,
example.
but
I can name plenty of other examples where if you get lose your first opportunity, and then the next opportunity that you get, if you do get put out there and you're not good, that could be it for you. Gino had the luxury of just sitting by. He was not asked to start anymore until recently. So he played like a couple games for the New York Giants. He never played for the Chargers. but he was sitting behind those quarterbacks. If he had played again and he was terrible, and Geno was never terrible in the beginning. I remember he won like 7 or 8 games. He just had some leadership problems and stuff like that. It wasn't that he was totally terrible. So that might be apples to apples. But like I said, I brought up Josh Rosen. Josh Rosen was out the league quickly. I mean, if you're not good in your first team and then your next stop, they didn't believe in you like the first team. So your leash is going to be even thinner. That's my whole point. I'm not saying that his NFL career would be totally over, but to sit there and be like it wouldn't be more fragile if Carolina gave up on him, that's just not honest to say.
All right, so let's go this way then. So if the Panthers let him go at the end of this year, do you think he's gonna get re-signed?
I
What
didn't.
what
I
kind of
just covered that, Spade. I just said that. I
All right,
said you'll get
so what are
another
we
team.
talking
Get your
about?
spit.
Okay then.
Did you listen to anything I just said over the past 3 minutes? Because you're asking me what I just said. I said he's probably going to get another, but to act like the fragility of his NFL future isn't in flux would be nonsense. After you get let go by your first team, your next team is not going to have the same leash on you. So if they do put you in for, even if it is just as a backup, but you get put in and you look horrible, that could be it for you. So that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying he's not going to get another chance, but that is not a good scenario to be in as a number one
Okay.
pick. You don't want to be in that scenario, so there's pressure there. You're to sit there and be like, well, if it doesn't work out here, I'm gonna get another shot. It's like it's just not that simple. I mean, you're Daggle. You might not ever be looked at as a starting quarterback again. Which in in the NFL, I mean, you don't want to be a career backup. That's a failure to me, from where he's coming from.
I just think that the fact that he got benched just and got brought back just simple enough proved that he's fighting for his job. Um, he could literally
Well
it
said,
could
Carter.
happen again. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not that deep to me. It's just like it literally just shows that he could lose his job. You literally fighting week by week. You already got benched once. You fight week by week.
Yeah, Dave just gave the vote of approval that he'll get the rest of the season with 3 games left.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
right.
saying? So I just don't think anything has been he can take anything for granted. After every game they're asking him, did Bryce do enough to keep his job? So you know what I mean? To be like there's no expectations there. Like I said, you're just painting a narrative, Spate. I know you.
That's
I didn't know you.
that's
I didn't know you since about 8th grade. So I'm not
hey,
falling for
look,
it. The viewers
that's
can.
fine. That's fine. Anybody who talk to me outside of this know this is really how I feel. And
No, I know
like you
that's really
said,
how you feel, but you're painting the narrative.
that's
We
fine.
trying to
Hey,
get
look,
Bryce on the
hey,
pod. We'll
hey,
never get him on the
hey,
pod like this. Bryce, please
that's
come on the
hey,
pod.
Bryce, I've said it before in the pod. I would stay home so y'all can do whatever y'all want to do with them. But to me, as somebody who provides, who's the head of a house, who provide, like it's a different pressure when you know you got another job lined up. Like we know
Yeah.
y'all both said you're gonna get another job. So
No,
this
I
whole
get you what you're saying. That I get what you're saying. It's a different pressure, but it acted like there's no pressure at all or no expectation. It's just false. And I guess we'll end it with this. I just feel like with us, if it would be one thing because you're a Panthers fan, bro. So it'd be one thing if we were seeing like Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson he played the full season, and then the next season he got another full season, and there was literally no growth. Like there was no growth from him. Like they were looking like, yo, we just need you to not lose us these games, and we're slowly but surely giving Bryce more and more. He's playing better. He had the big interception game last week, but I mean he had a career high in rushing yards this week. Yeah, two TDs through the air, no
He's the
interceptions.
highest.
Play,
He had the highest
he had
PFF grade for a quarterback
highest
this week.
PFF. You always talk about how he doesn't throw the ball downfield. 5 of 7 on passes of 15 yards or more. I mean, I just don't big time. He was number one in big time throws this week. It would be one thing if we weren't seeing anything, but if we were seeing Zach Wilson, I could see how you'd be like, bro, we need to move on. But
bro,
to the
I'm
fact that we're
agreeing with
seeing
y'all.
steps. No, but I'm
I'm
saying
agreeing
like,
with y'all. Like eliminated from the playoff, Bryce is nice. I agree.
but I'm saying
But the
like
moment the moment the
but
playoffs are on
Spade,
the line,
my
he gonna be
Spade,
trash.
but Spade, that's my point. My point is right now we have a young quarterback and we're starting to see progression. Why throw in the caveat and make it negative of course there's no expectations like let's wait until we get some more expectations of a team and see how he handles it. Right now, he's been getting better each week. Why can't we just praise him for that and move on? Why we have to like though discredit what he's doing just because you feel like the only reason he's doing it is because there's no pressure. Even if you feel like that, why throw that in there? Like You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know. It's like if someone gave you a compliment on something, but then they threw something in there like, "Hey man, you did a good job on that test." I mean, you are a year older than everybody in your grade, but still a good job. That's not a compliment. I just don't understand why we got to throw that in there. So
Oh, I can explain that with extreme ease. I thought the whole point of the podcast is to give our opinions. That's my opinion. Like
once
I
again, I get that that's your opinion, but if you just said you agree with the fact that I was just talking about how he's showing incremental progress, and it's not Zach Wilson bad. He's trying to get better from week to week. I just was saying, why do you feel the need to throw a negative opinion in there if we're Panthers
oh
fans? We want to eventually have guests on the show. Like I don't understand what that does for us. I just don't understand. But
I just think this year as a whole with the Panthers, this is a building year. That's why even although we won the high draft capital or higher pick. With us winning this week was essential because it showed that we can finally win and close in big moments. And that's what happens with good teams. Good teams close teams out. They win games. We've been in a lot of games. We haven't won a lot of games. But this year it's kind of been showing, all right, the next year will probably be that team that should be able to get over the hump, should be able to finish out and close out these games. That's also what Coach been preaching too. So the fact that
100%.
we got a quarterback that's kind of going to get us, and we can feel like, all right, the team is confident that he is the one that can put you in the position to be able to get over the hump. That says more than anything. You know what I'm
Yeah, I
saying?
mean
'Cause those are the
the
guys that
big
are fighting with you in the locker room. Those are guys
yeah
in the facility with you week in, week out. Those are guys putting that sweat equity with you, dog working, all that. You know what I'm saying? And to be able to have the confidence in that. And they
and
didn't see
Carter,
that. They didn't see that last year. And they probably didn't see that at the beginning of the season either from him. But
100%.
he made adjustments and he changed. And that's setting us up for the future. I don't know if the real expectations were maybe for you, Spade, or just different people, but the real expectations was a playoff team. We got a chance to win because the division was up for grabs. But if we would have made the playoffs this year, we probably would have overachieved as a team. And I think the organization would have thought that too as well. But we still building the right way and we got the right pieces. And the key pieces to that is knowing we have a comfortable quarterback out there who can at least do it and manage the game and do what he's been doing. So
Yeah, I mean, 5 of the last 7 games to piggyback on what you said about the team at least believing. We have a big enough sample size right now where we've seen 5 of the last 7 games. Bryce has been in the position and he's succeeded in either giving us a game tying or game winning drive. You know what I'm saying? Every single one of his wins that he's had in the Panther uniform, he's had to put together a game winning drive. We haven't had one where we've been up and we just had to fight a team off, stave the team off from overcoming the lead. He's always had to go and take the lead. So the fact that out of the last 7 games, 5 of those games he's been put in those positions and he succeeded. It's just that our defense has not been able to stop the other team from scoring. I mean, that's a good start. I feel like that's you if you know you have at least that, then you can build up the skill positions and build up the defense, and then you got something.
yeah, because we don't got one of them teams where we got a team where most of our guys are under multi-year contracts. Really a lot of the key of our team are rookies for real. This rookie class has been performing
100%.
amazing. So you know what I'm saying. So we got a lot of guys. Even our linemen, we signed Rob Hunt to a long deal, Damian Lewis to a long deal. The guy we just really waiting to get shirted up is JC. But besides that, we got guys who are really planning to be here, and you can tell that that's what they're kind of doing. And they talk about it in interviews too. You know what I'm saying? They realize the season it didn't go how they want, if not a playoff team. But right now, nothing compares to the playoffs. But building right habits and good things and treating these last couple of games and kicking teams out the playoffs, stopping what they dreamed about. That's kind of the playoffs for them. So it's like, well, hey, they out here, they doing what they need to do. And now we got multi-contract guys. So coming into the mini camps, come to the offseason, I'm sure they'll stay in Charlotte. They'll work. They're getting that work in together, build that camaraderie. So by the time we come next year, you know what I'm saying, we'll be even better. We'll be able to close the game out. Have we closed games out, bro? We're talking from a 4-win team to at least an 8-win team, an 8 to 9-win
Probably eight.
team. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
probably
have we
eight.
closed games out? So
Yeah, with the teams, like I mean, bro, like with being decimated in the end on defense. I mean, decimated on defense. Offense, I feel like it was on Bryce early in the season. I mean, we're seeing how our offense can clearly move the ball. Once if we're not creating turnover, I mean, making mistakes. But the defense, I mean, bro, I saw this. This number is crazy. X, Mike, Jack, and JC are top 10 in total snaps in the whole NFL. Like total in the whole NFL, bro. 100% of the snaps on Sunday, and it's not because they're that good. It's because we ain't got
no
nobody. You know
bodies,
what I'm
yeah.
saying? And like we're super thin. I mean, DJ Wanham, he played 90% of the snaps on Sunday. We
He coming
just
off an
don't have.
injury.
Yeah, we just do not have the bodies, and you know, this kind of goes back into like why I felt like Evero has done a decent job. He's been able to plug in guys, and we've at least been able to try to like for some a lot of these games, at least the first half, we look like we could be formidable if we don't shoot ourselves in the foot. Shout out to this dude, Jacoby Windman, who
Yeah,
got his first career start. I mean,
number 41.
we threw him in there, and he led the team in tackles this week. So I mean, we're throwing dudes in, and they're producing. I just feel like, yeah, I just feel like we gotta get healthy, man. We gotta get healthy. We're thin. Yeah. Did we do an MVP this week?
Nah,
Uh, we had did the
We did the
like
Pro
pro.
Bowl.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if y'all have somebody,
mine would have been
you,
Wyndham anyway. He showed out to me on film. Even on Sunday, I was rewatching the game.
Yeah.
He just popped out. I didn't even know he had. I went back and checked before, and I did see he led the team in tackles, but I didn't know that even until today. But you could just
Yeah,
tell he was
man.
all around the ball all day. I didn't know who he was. I was like, yo, who was Wyndham? But he a rookie. I guess I don't know if he was undrafted or not, but he was with us. He was with the Steelers early in camp. It looked like, but yeah, he
Yeah,
played a hell of
man.
a game.
Yeah, I would have. I had him starred Jacoby as well, but then I was like, man, I wanted to. I was gonna. I think I wanted to give it to Ashawn this week. I mean, Ashawn had another good game, and uh, coming into this game, I should have said this earlier when we was talking about the Pro Bowl. He led all defensive linemen in the NFL with total tackles and solo tackles. So like that's crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Once again, I don't know if that's just a product of the fact that we don't have anybody. So dudes like him and Wanham are having to be on the field. But you got to get the. I mean, you got to get the stats somehow. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So he did a great job this week. So I probably would give it to Ashawn. Who would you give it to, Spade?
I would have gave it to our Coker and Savior if he would have made that crazy one-handed end zone catch,
That was
like
crazy. That
one
was
hand, like
crazy.
if
That
if
was a
he could have got the
spacing
Yo,
second.
issue. That was a spacing issue. I don't know if y'all rewatched that joint, but I had rewatched that play a few times. And if you look at it, I don't know what kind of route Tommy Trimble was running. It almost like he ran a little fade, but he was in the same vicinity as when Coker came over. So you could tell he probably felt him or seen somebody right there and mistimed it because he didn't get that second foot down. He got to get
did
that
you
second foot down now.
Did you see how that happened right before Thielen got his touchdown? I be noticing that shit too, but Thielen was trying to get the wide receiver. He was clearly telling him the route. Like, you know what I'm saying? He was and the dude who was underneath him was supposed to be the clear out route. So he would have the top open. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he was telling him that at the line. You could tell. But it worked beautifully. But you could just tell how, especially how the dude to the right of him released. He didn't really know what he was supposed to be doing. So
Mm.
that was interesting to see. That was interesting to see,
Yeah,
man.
but
Go ahead.
because he didn't get that second foot down, mine is going to be no expectation. Bryce, he didn't turn the ball over. Um, he had a 107 passer rating. Uh, he came up. He played well in the fourth and overtime. Granted, Chuba put the had the final touchdown with that long run, but yeah, that'll be mine. I'm gonna go with no expectation. Bryce for mine.
Respect. I can't wait to see what Bryce is gonna do when we get like some household names in. Thielen is like the only short-handed receiver. We're high on like our young guys, and we know Chuba is a real guy now. But like fellas, this game, you wouldn't even have been able to tell. But I think the broadcast said it. But he only had one drafted receiver, period, that was playing for him. That was lined up. Everybody else was undrafted. You know what I'm saying? Like he's just playing, and he's still producing. That makes you think like, okay, we got the type of quarterback or maybe it's the system where like he can if you just do your job he can make plays happen and find people, you know what I'm saying, and stay productive no matter who's out there, you know what I'm saying. David Moore was the only drafted wide receiver that was out there.
Mm.
Yeah, and yeah, I mean he's nobody to write home with. Even though he's been playing well, like he has been
He
consistent.
has been playing good,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, it's and XL like that's the reason why I asked you, does your score depend on him being back? Like I feel like we have a better chance of winning somewhat without him, just from a drop aspect because he can get open. It's can he hold on to
I've
it?
never I'll
That was his
never.
thing, though. That was his thing. If you go back to the draft board and the pre-draft thing, they said he was raw. You know what I'm saying? And it's
Yeah,
clearly been proven that he is because he gets open, but he just can't catch the ball. But that was his thing in South Carolina. He had some drop issues, so that was his thing. It was just like he's raw. So I mean, but we
Yeah,
can work
but
with that. We can definitely work
yeah, I
with
was
yeah.
that.
about to
Oh,
say
for
when it
sure. I'm not saying get rid of him or nothing like that. It's
let me
just
ask you a
right
question
now.
too. Yeah,
Yeah,
I still think the answer is no on that spade because it's like
yeah,
if you just have him out there, I mean, just have a speed target out there, even if he's in there as a decoy to clear guys over the top, like we were just kind of talking about. I think I, unless you're featuring him in a way where it would hurt the team, I'm never a fan of like having talent off the field unless they're like a cancer to the locker room or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's just I don't think we're gonna be better without him on the field. I feel like our offense would have been better this week even if he had been there, for sure.
Yeah, we had 88 out there. I forgot who he is.
He's not gonna keep dropping all these passes, fellas. He's not. I mean, he might be like DK Metcalf style. DK be catching that bitch with his chest. He be catching that bitch. He lets that bitch come all the way to the numbers, and he grabs it like that. I mean, he might end up being one of them type of dudes. But if he gets open consistently, we'll work with it. Put him on the jug machine.
well, well,
Value in that. Value in getting open in this league.
Oh, I thought you were talking
yeah.
about value in the jug machine. Yeah,
Oh,
give him that,
in that too.
please.
Hey, we have as a Panthers fan, we have a somewhat terrible history with receivers who can get open and drop balls going back to Ted Ginn, even at short
Oh,
stints
good
with
lord,
Deontay Johnson, who's at home like us right now. But
chilling.
yeah, yeah. So I just hope XL don't fall down that path, and maybe Steve can work with him this off season, and get him up.
Steve ain't Steve ain't working with that man.
Tony Gonzalez had a lot of drops his rookie year too, so
Oh God, don't
yeah,
compare X to Tony Gonzalez. All right,
he in the Hall of Fame, so we just gotta get to
don't
working.
compare him. Do not
Chris
compare him to
Carter,
Tony
hey,
Gonzalez.
niggas be having drops their first couple years,
But
bro.
but
No,
I
that's
kind
real.
of agree with Brandon on this one. Uh,
Of
yeah,
course you
like
do.
he still got the tools. Like don't say, of course they do. Clearly, me and Brandon don't agree a lot. This might be the first time in the pod history.
No, I said that because I said that because I think it's by design, Carter. Spate is constantly gassing all the offensive skill players, but he criticizes Bryce heavily because I feel like it's by design. Okay, I feel like once we
Oh
start
no,
taking off, this is gonna go right back in his plans. It's like, well, I mean, he's only nice because I told you we got our Coker and Savior. X isn't dropping passes. We got Chuba. We got Jonathan. He's special. I can already see it coming. He said the tight end is special, so he's identified three special players on our offense already. And when Bryce starts making things happen, it's not going to be because of Bryce Carter. You mark my words.
That
It's
is
going to be
true.
because his talent is special.
hey,
Don't let us get Gary Wilson to
I
you
already
either.
see. I know what he's plotting, bruh. I know what
I'm
he's
not.
plotting. Oh, you're
I
plotting.
promise I'm not. I promise
Okay,
I'm not.
let's
I
mark this date.
promise. It's fine. It's fine. But is there anything else you guys want to hit on? Um, Shout out Usyk beating Tyson Fury again. Uh,
Shout
but
out to him.
outside of that, I don't really have anything else. Do you guys have anything?
Nah, nah, nah.
Not really, man. We've been on here for a minute, fellas.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Longest
over.
pod yet.
Yeah, I got
Break,
some things to do. It's Christmas time, man.
break.
Come on, fellas.
Yeah,
Hey,
facts. Yeah, I got some
what,
shit.
what? Yeah. So once again,
Carter. Still got some shit to do.
uh,
Trying to
but
be, I gotta stop myself mid sentence.
It's
uh,
crazy.
but hey, everybody who's still watching, if you still hear this point, the vibes. Like, comment, subscribe. Happy holidays. We appreciate y'all. Um, this is our third setup. We went from studio to the tunnel to now we're doing via
The tunnel.
video. And if you're still rocking with us, man, we appreciate y'all. Continue to do it
Thank you.
as we, work through it. And one day, when we the biggest pod in the world, we can just look back at this time and like embrace these humble beginnings. But once again, happy holidays. Y'all be safe out there.